This week, the Planet Mechanics are playing with supersized blocks to solve an urban problem that is growing out of control. The answer could be contained in Liverpool. But even with an enthusiastic core of students,
We haven't really gone into that much detail.
will this giant experiment become a dream house or a heavy metal meltdown?
I look at those now and I think, whose idea was this?
Dick Strawbridge is an ex-army officer turned eco-warrior. Jem Stansfield is an inventor with a wild green streak. Two men on a mission to fix the world. One mechanical solution at a time. Together, they are the Planet Mechanics. Dick and Jem are on their way to Liverpool, a port city situated on the northwest coast of England. Once home to the Fab Four, and now European city of culture. Like many other UK cities, its population is growing fast, but the supply of affordable housing can't meet the massive demand. Across the UK, there's a current shortfall of 1.4 million affordable homes. Experts claim that new builds must increase by 33% a year. And Liverpool's 60,000 students are really struggling to find cheap housing. But the architecture students at the university think they may just have a solution. They've invited Dick and Jem to the city. It's their hope that the Planet Mechanics' practical expertise can help turn their theories into a real working prototype house in just a week.
These youngsters have got to be our future. They've got to come up with the bright ideas to solve this.
They are in a position to come up with really new ideas because they haven't yet learned about all the things that don't work.
Decent challenge.
Yeah.
This is it. We're in the university now, are we?
Professor Robert Cronenberg is the head of architecture at the University of Liverpool.
Must be Robert. Hi, I'm Dick. Great to meet you, Professor. This is Jem.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming.
He lectures in portable architecture, and he's hoping that there's one enormous eco-idea that will excite Dick and Jem.
How do you feel about containers?
Shipping containers.
Yeah, we're a port city. We've got loads of them.
Have you got some designs for using the containers?
Students have done some good designs, but we need some practical help.
Cool. We can do that. Do you want to show us what we've got?
Yeah, come on.
There are over 22 million shipping containers worldwide. 100 million container loads cross the oceans each year in over 5,000 ships. They're often too expensive to send back empty to their point of origin, so pile up at their destinations unused. Professor Cronenberg thinks they could make ideal building blocks for houses.
Now you have to look as if you're working, all right? The pressure's on.
The professor's students have already worked up a series of designs using containers as their starting point. They'll need to convince Dick and Jem that their ideas are realistic, especially as two of them must live in the finished house for a week.
This one's a 20-foot, this one's a 40-foot, and we've, at the ends here, we've put the bedrooms.
The students have sketched out a simple design. They're planning to bolt the containers together like this, placing bedrooms at either end of the 40-footer with the kitchen and bathroom inside the smaller 20-footer.
Do you know how much power, electricity you need? How much sort of water you're going to be using? Things like that. Have that all been taken into account?
We haven't really gone into that much detail as of yet.
With no thought at all having been given by the students to the basics of heat, water and lighting, Dick and Jem may have their work cut out, trying to push them out of their ivory tower and into the real world. Dick also wants them to think even further outside their metal box.
We have the opportunity to actually make it an eco-living space, but, you know, as green as we possibly can.
Leaving the students with plenty to think about, Dick and Jem are anxious to get going. They've got a house to build in a week. Some containers and a place to put them is the first big job.
Catch you later, yeah?
There are enough containers in existence to circle the Earth twice if they were laid end to end. Dick must hope that this means he can get a decent price on one.
Ian, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Dick.
How you doing?
Ian Morris is a director of container care and a wily adversary. The average life of a container is 10 years. 1 million of them are retired out of service each year. Recycling some of these into housing could be a really viable proposition.
That's a decent, you know, it looks bigger on the outside.
Yeah, yes.
It's got a special smell, hasn't it?
A cargo smell, yeah.
So a bit of venting,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bit of insulation.
Yeah.
This is a nice size, you know. You can see that, for, you know, it's bigger than most flats in London, isn't it? Okay.
Dick and Jem are trying to stick to a budget of £10,000, the average amount of rent paid by an undergraduate student over a typical 4-year degree course. So getting a good price on these containers is essential, since they don't know what other big costs are waiting for them further into the project.
What sort of price can you pick up a second-hand 20-foot for?
675 to
675.
plus the VAT.
Plus VAT.
Yeah, plus that, yeah.
Okay. All right. 40-foot.
40 foot, you're looking. The cheapest 40 I could do for you would be around about 700.
So if I want a 20-foot, can I take half a 40-foot? That's much cheaper.
That's my best price I give it to start.
So you don't do haggling?
Not really, mate. No.
You're gonna look after me for transportation?
I will do, yeah. Yeah,
That's the deal.
After some very gentlemanly haggling, Dick and Ian settle on £700 for the larger container and £675 for the one half its size. Not perfect, but not a disaster either, especially as the price of transportation is included. So, with Dick having done a deal on a 40 and a 20-foot pair of containers, all Jem has to do now is find somewhere on the university campus to put them.
We're not going to be able to bring the container up there.
I doubt it.
I don't think we'll
might
get the truck
damage
up
the
there.
trees, mightn't you?
A university car park is the only available location which can provide the mains water and drainage that Dick and Jem will need. But there's a possibility that getting the larger 40-foot container onto this site may be tricky.
There could be a problem in trying to get the container truck round there and up this access road here.
With a 20-foot container already on its way, Dick suddenly gets a call they could all do without.
Yeah, I'm really pleased. I got a decent deal on a 40-foot and a 20-foot.
That's not quite as lucky as you might think.
Sorry?
You cannot get a 40-foot container lorry to get round the corners necessary to drop it here.
You are joking.
We have to get 3 20-foot containers.
3 20s. Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Oh, I'm really sorry, mate.
Dick has no option but to go back to Ian to renegotiate his prices.
Mate, this is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. Change in plan.
Yeah.
Can't get a 40-foot container into the university.
Right, okay.
You know, the actual roads.
Yeah,
I'm going to need 3 20s.
Yeah, no problem, mate.
And if I actually say I don't really mind what they look like,
Yeah.
you'll look after me, won't you?
Yeah, I will do, yeah.
That's what I like to hear.
But with 20-footers being virtually the same price as the 40-footers, Dick's overall spend has just gone up from £1,400 to over £2,000. With the first container already on site and 2 more on the way, it's now quite clear that the students are going to have to radically rethink their designs, and fast.
We need some more plans from you now. Yeah. Time for a huddle. Run away, work hard, be fast.
If the Planet Mechanics are going to turn these rusting steel boxes into comfortable homes for £10,000 in just 6 days, they'll have their work cut out. Winter in the UK means fewer daylight working hours available. Dick and Jem now need a design blueprint fast. And in less than an hour, the students have come up with something.
Put your hand up if you're happy enough to carry on here with this.
Let's go. Yeah.
And just to see whether their small-scale sketches will translate into a viable design, a scale model is called for. On the right is the front of the house. This container has a door which opens into the main living space and kitchen. The top of the middle container will be the bathroom, with 2 bedrooms either side of it.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So I'm coming through the wall.
Welcome.
You can
This is
hang
our-
your coats up and...
Our lobby/desk area, with study area.
I suppose the firm decisions that I'd really like to leave with would be what size openings we cut to join the containers, what the kind of offset is. If we can all just go, yes, this is it, and then before you know it, the sort of tape and carpet will become steel and wood.
Have we decided who's going to live in it yet? Or is that something that you're just waiting to see what it looks like first?
I'd live in it.
Yeah?
Yay!
That's one volunteer.
And Andy's going to as well, I think.
Supposedly, if I can behave myself.
Yeah? So Andy and Therese, so you've got a vested interest in it now. Okay. You worried about anything, Jem? Just about all of it?
Well, obviously worried about every single detail, but I think we can work with this.
With a plan agreed on, it's time to activate the Planet Mechanics Eco HQ. It's a fully equipped workshop on wheels. Power comes from a solar panel and it's packed with all the tools and equipment they're likely to need.
Right, we've got containers, we've got a plan. What's next?
Well, at the moment, they're just 3 big solid metal boxes.
So we've got to cut the holes in them and join them together. That's no trivial task, is it?
No, because the holes going through to make them a big living space are going to have to be huge holes, which will then need reinforcing with big steel beams.
If we're going to do that work, it makes more sense to do it when they're separated, because cutting that metal, doing all that welding, give ourselves some space. We've also got doors and windows. It's a slightly more delicate job, but there's a lot of those to go in.
I personally fancy doing the big openings and the big steel reinforcements.
In that case, I'll do the delicate little windows.
The students' design blueprint calls for almost entire sides of the containers to be removed where they all join each other, creating a single large interior space. Individual rooms will then be created by building stud walls inside it. With Jem now happy that he can get busy grinding and welding, a surprise visit from the professor halts him in his tracks.
Oh, you've got that bit, you've got that bit, and where else is the wall? There's no wall in it, it's gone.
You've still got the floor and the roof, though. You know, if you think of the container as like having 6 sides, it's only lost, you know, nearly 2 of them, if you see what I mean. It's still like...
It's like saying, well, we've got a brick, but we're going to take away 2 sides of the brick and still use it. If you did that for every single brick, you would be kind of saying, wow, is it worth using the brick? Before you start cutting, I would have a rethink. Because this is not like a normal house is built. This is a stress skin structure in which you can really make a hole anywhere. And it will still retain its strength. The only problem is you make the hole too big, the strength goes completely.
According to the professor, cutting out larger than necessary holes could seriously weaken the container's strength, possibly even resulting in a complete collapse. Having been convinced of this, Jem's decided to cut 2 smaller doorways in the sides of each container, instead of 1 big one. At twice the amount of work, this will take a lot longer. Dick, meanwhile, concentrates on windows and doors. 7 windows and 2 exterior doors have added a further £433 to the spend. With the supporting frame in place inside one of the doorways, while the rain still pours, Jem's keen to show off his handiwork.
All right, done? Yep, that's the first opening done. No.
What?
This container to join to this container.
Yeah.
We have this opening, and we've also got the bathroom opening, so there's 2 openings. Which means you're going to have to do all of this again.
The prof was dead keen, though, that we didn't start taking out big holes, because he said these things then lose their integrity.
Mate, from our perspective, if we're going to, in 1 week, join 3 containers together, we can't afford to make twice as much work doing it.
So what do you reckon? We stick a massive frame
Big
in,
hole, big
then
hole.
That's the seal, and then any doors then between the 2 are internal doors, don't matter.
If we don't seal it and the students get wet, our name will be mud.
All right, Dick, I'll rip it out